Talking about diversity does make me feel uncomfortable when people assume that I don't have anything valid to say. I think being white and from an upper class background and being here in a predominantly white school, people assume that I don't know anything or I don't care sometimes, and that's just not the case.
Sometimes it is hard to be a person of color or a person of diverse background that's more visible. Either people are like listening to you really intensely and like seeing what you're saying as like what everyone in your group is saying, or like people are just expecting you to talk about it. And so like both of those expectations are kind of just like sometimes makes me not want to have to talk about it.
I feel uncomfortable, especially as a white guy talking about diversity, right? All those questions about what I might be able to contribute to the conversation. I feel very reticent of overstepping my bounds and maybe giving voice or assuming that I'm helpfully giving voice to a set of experiences. And also for our white students, we're still a white majority campus, right? I think many of them struggle with diversity. And so for me to struggle and be open and vocal about that struggle, right, and to model, yes, it's okay to struggle with these issues. I think that's important, but not always comfortable.
I am hesitant in some regards to really sort of fully express some of my opinions and fully ask some of my questions relating to expressing my background and how that relates with others, because I have this fear of really like offending someone and someone not interpreting what I'm trying to say. And I know this campus to be very open and welcoming and accepting, and I trust that as much as we talk about our mission statement, that if I am critical, people will use it a lot in their defense and their criticism of the school, that they too will use it and understand where I'm coming from as well.
I do feel uncomfortable talking about diversity just from the standpoint that, as like a white woman on campus, I know that I'm not underrepresented, and I know on the surface I don't appear to represent any sort of diverse aspect of Gonzaga. But I think it's really important to remember that diversity isn't just one thing. It's not just cultural diversity. It's not just diversity of opinion and thought, and just remembering that everyone brings unique aspects of their experience and their character.
I just love sharing, what makes me unique, or stuff like why I personally like just meeting different people from different backgrounds. But then at the same time, sometimes the way people phrase it to me is do you enjoy being a person not from here, or someone unique? Sometimes when they word it throws me off, and at some point just gets annoying sometimes.
Not being a person of color makes it a bit more challenging for me to understand different lenses, but that also gives me an appreciation for people that are able to and open to share their culture.
I feel like diversity, while there are so many beautiful aspects of it, and obviously we all have something awesome to bring, that also comes with a lot of negative points. With privilege comes oppression, and a lot of groups face a lot of different challenges. So I think to be able to fully embrace diversity in all of its forms, we need to understand the downfalls of it and where we can improve, which I think is something Gonzaga is really striving to do. Baby steps, of course, but yeah, I think if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not talking about the biggest aspects of it.
There are less staff and faculty of color on campus than there are students. I can get really nervous having to be that one person that asks the question, well, have we thought about all these other socio-cultural identities? Have we thought about these other groups that we're not mentioning and how this work is going to affect them? Have we thought about how this will improve their experience here at Gonzaga and improve the overall climate from a systems perspective?
I valued coming to Gonzaga because it provided me with an escape from my echo chamber, and I want that to continue because I feel like the purpose of this kind of education is to talk about ideas, and it's to branch out from ideologies to understand why it is that people actually think and feel certain ways. But I just want to emphasize that we're not done yet. There's still work to be done, but it's possible. It's so possible. It's so possible to have these conversations, and it really is just by getting to know people.
The issue of diversity, inclusion, equity is vital on this campus right now. I don't feel scared to talk about it. However, I do recognize the need to be judicious in how I speak about it. Again, at its foundation, at its base, this is the minimum of what we're asking others to do, is to be aware of other people's experiences, to attempt to understand their pathways, their identities, how they navigate and negotiate the challenges of this world in markedly different ways than others.